for inviting me to this international conference on growth, resilience, and sustainability in a dynamic world. I'm also thankful to Mr. Samren Singh, Chairman, Mr. Deval Singh, Vice Chairman, and Professor Dr. Ravishankar Kumar Singh, who is the Director of your ISM Patna, for giving this opportunity. Friends, I would like to tell you that I hail from Bihar, Ara Bhojpur. And being a native from Bihar, I feel proud to know, which Dr. Anand Chaudhary was saying right now, that ISM Patna is the first private initiative towards pursuing excellence in the field of management education and entrepreneurship that offers the best PGDM course in Bihar. I feel proud to know about this, and I congratulate the ISM Patna for getting this, accolade or a status. So today, distinguished guests, faculties, and students, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to this important event. And since we are talking about growth, resilience, and sustainability in a dynamic world, first of all, we need to understand what this concept actually is. So in my views, this is a concept that refers to the ability of individuals, organizations, and communities to thrive and adapt to changing circumstances in a way that supports both economic and environmental sustainability. In a dynamic world where technological, environmental, and social changes are happening very rapidly, it is very crucial to prioritize growth, resilience, and sustainability to ensure long-term success and prosperity. This requires a focus on innovation, adaptability, and responsible resource management to create a thriving and sustainable future for all. Jemius Cascio, a futurist, has said, resilience is all about being able to overcome the unexpected. Sustainability is about survival. The goal of resilience is to thrive. And I would say that resilience should be seen, in fact, as the ability to deal with adversity, withstand shocks, and continuously adapt and accelerate as disruptions and crises arise over time. Disruptions are not new, and societies have developed sophisticated ways of managing them, using institutions to create stability against extreme events. Since the beginning of the millennium, societies, economies, and the earth itself have been subject to disruptions of increasing frequency and severity. Each involves differently from the others, but many disruptions have overlapping consequences that can be long-lived and are not completely understood at the time of impact. Nowadays, the buzzwords for organization to be prepared for the competitive environment's challenges are sustainability, digitalization, resilience, and agility. However, despite the fact that these concepts have come into common use of both scholars and practitioners, the nature of the relation between sustainability and resilience has not yet been sufficiently clarified. So, the UN Department of Economic and Social Affairs says, sustainable development is the pathway to the future we want for all. It offers a framework to generate economic growth, achieve social justice, exercise environmental stewardship, and strengthen governance. So above all, there is still no evidence of what factors determine greater resilience to change in an organization, and that also wants to be more sustainable, especially in times of crisis and discontinuity. I would like to quote again Mr. Ban Ki-moon, who is the former Secretary General of the United Nations. He had said, sustainability is no longer a choice, it's a necessity. We need to create a world where we can sustainably meet the needs of everyone without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Since I'm talking about Mr. Ban Ki-moon, so I am reminded of the United Nations steps taken for the sustainability. In 2000, at the turn of the millennium, realizing the importance of growth, resilience, and sustainability in a dynamic world, and highlighting the need for adaptation, innovation, and sustainability to ensure a better future for all, the world's nations set themselves development goals with an ambition to reach these in the following 15 years, from 2000 to 2015. So, referencing the historic moment of their inception of UN, it was named the Millennium Development Goals, or MDGs for short. And as we all know, and also outlined in the preamble of the UN Charter, the United Nations was created to save succeeding generations from the scores of war which twice in our lifetime has brought untold sorrow to mankind. But the Millennium Development Goals set 8 targets for realizing these values around the world by 2015, and served as the focus for UN work throughout the period. What were these 8 Millennium Development Goals? I will talk about the Sustainable Development Goal, but I just want to remind what was before this Sustainable Development Goal. So there were 8 targets for the Millennium Development Goal, and they were eradicate extreme poverty and hunger, achieve universal primary education, promote gender equality and empower women, reduce child mortality, improve maternal health, combat HIV/AIDS, malaria, and other diseases. HIV/AIDS and malaria was a big, kind of diseases those days. Ensure environmental sustainability, and eighth, global partnership for development. These were the 8 goals set by United Nations, and these were called as the Millennium Development Goal. While the MDG was in progress, the Ban Ki-moon once said, "Meeting the goal is everyone's business. Falling short would multiply the dangers of our world, from instability to epidemic diseases to environmental degradation." He has cautioned because he knew that the world is not going to achieve these targets. So he said, "But achieving the goals will put us on a fast track to a world that is more stable, more just, and more secure. Billions of people are looking to the international community to realize the great vision embodied in the Millennium Declaration." So, did we actually achieve the MDGs that we set ourselves? If you ask me, I would say no. Goals of the MDGs, measured by 18 targets, according to our world in data, the world overall achieved only 3.5 targets. Out of 18 targets, only 3.5 targets were achieved. And that too, after spending around 63 to 72 billion every year. 63 to 72 billion US dollar every year from 2000 to 2015. It has been recorded. I am saying it from the sources available on the Google. Most of the UN's 11 Millennium Development Goals were missed after spending this too much of amount. And Ban Ki-moon himself said in the 2015 UN report that I am keenly aware that inequalities persist and that progress has been uneven. The world's poor remain overwhelmingly concentrated in some parts of the world. In 2011, nearly 60% of the world's 1 billion extremely poor people lived in just 5 countries, and that included India as well. So India's progress was below the mark on the parameters of poverty, child and maternal mortality, and access to improved sanitation. In 2010, 1/3 of the world's 1.2 billion extremely poor, which comes around 32.9%, they lived in India alone. Today, During the COVID, the government is officially saying that it provided free food grains to around 80 crore people, 80 crore beneficiaries, 800 million beneficiaries across the country. Who are these people? Our country never had this much of people below the poverty line, because I don't think that 80 crore had been provided to above the poverty line people. Has it been provided to the middle class people or the upper class people? No. Does it mean that we have created a vast number of people below the poverty line? What was the situation? I think the time will tell about this thing and somebody will study about it. So Ban Ki-moon again said, too many women continue to die during pregnancy or from childbirth-related complications. Progress tends to bypass women and those who are lowest on the economic ladder or disadvantaged because of their age, disability, and ethnicity. Disparities between rural and urban areas remain pronounced. Experience and evidences from the efforts to achieve the MDGs demonstrate that we know what we do, but further progress will require an unswerving political will and political collective long-term effect. This was the quote of the Ban Ki-moon. My dear friends, after this failed report of MDGs in 2015, the UN coined a new word, adopted ambitious 2030 agenda for sustainable development, which includes ending poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation. The title of this new agenda was given, the Transforming Our World, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. It was adopted in 2015 by all countries. They embraced 5 fundamental principles. 1, universality. It applies to all countries. 2nd, leaving no one behind. It considers all people irrespective of status and location. Then 3rd, interconnectedness and indivisibility. It needs to be implemented as a whole. 4th, inclusiveness. Every contribution is valid that was considered. And 5th, the multi-stakeholder partnerships to support implementation. So the 2030 UN agenda contains an implementation framework of 17 sustainable development goals, 169 targets. We remember that MDG had only 18 targets. So SDG had 169 targets and 244 indicators. Out of these 244 indicators, 93 of which are environment related. You understand that. So these 17 SDGs mostly addresses poverty, hunger, health, education, equality, clean water, sustainable energy, and so on. Now, what is the situation? Only 7 years are now left to achieve these SDGs, which are aimed to transform our world. The question is, how much we have achieved in SDGs, which were once a call to action to end poverty and inequality, protect the planet, and ensure that all people enjoy health, justice, and prosperity. This is the time we should analyze how much we have achieved. Although some progress has been made towards achieving these goals, such as reducing poverty and hunger, increasing access to education and healthcare, and improving access to clean water and sanitation, some achievements have surely been achieved. But overall, the progress has been slow or stagnant in other areas, such as reducing inequality, addressing climate change, and promoting sustainable consumption and production patterns. And this is, I'm not saying this. The 2022 report, which was released earlier this year, that says that the results are not great. And that too, how much is spent, how much was spent by the UN, by the global community. The estimated cost of achieving the SDGs is much higher than that of the MDGs. The estimate says it ranges 0.4 trillion to 2.5 trillion per year. This much we are spending on the achieving the SDGs. Antonio Guterres, Secretary General, wrote in 2019 itself that our world as we know it and the future we want are at risk. Despite considerable efforts, we are not on track to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal by 2030. He said in 2019 itself. We must dramatically step up the pace of implementation as we enter a decisive decade for people and the planet. We must connect the dots across all that we do as individuals, civic groups, corporations, municipalities, and member states of the United Nations, and truly embrace the principle of inclusion and sustainability, Antonio Guterres had said in 2019. Peter Lacey, the Global Sustainability Services Lead and Chief Responsibility Officer of the Accenture, also said, not meeting the SDGs is a real concern. It's also an enormous opportunity for companies that reinvent their enterprises and harness sustainability as one of the key forces of changing in the next decade, using technology and innovation to drive growth. Today, when we are talking about growth, resilience, and sustainability, which is the topic of our conference today, we can see that the world is beset by several crises of global importance. The Ukraine-Russia war has also shocked a world weary. The threat of third wave of COVID or the coronavirus, which officially took more than 8.3 million lives till today, as of April 2023, is still looming large. The COVID-19 pandemic has also had a significant impact on SDG progress, with many countries experiencing setbacks in areas such as health, education, and poverty reduction. The pandemic has highlighted the interconnectedness of global challenges and the need for coordinated action to address them. In fact, the 5 Ps or the 5 principles on which the United Nations was built, that was peace, prosperity, people, planet, and partnerships, are yet to be achieved. As on April 29, 2023, today, we all know that India's population has surpassed China's population. We are number 1 in the world. We are the most populated country in the world. The global population has also crossed 8 billion people. Number 15, 2022 itself, last year itself. So we are faced with the challenges of meeting the needs of a rapidly expanding population while also protecting our planet. Furthermore, climate change remains one of the biggest threats to our world. In the face of these challenges, it is clear that we must take action to ensure that our world can sustainably support the needs of current and future generations. We must promote growth that is both inclusive and sustainable, while also building resilience to withstand the shocks and disruptions that we are likely to face in the future. So in conclusion, the challenges we face in the world today are very complex and multifaceted. However, if we work together and take action to promote growth, resilience, and sustainability, we can build a world that is more equitable, prosperous, and sustainable for all. But to achieve this, we must focus on building more sustainable economies, promoting clean energy. I'm very hopeful because government of India is seriously taking up this, e-mobility drive. And we also do organize several conferences related to e-mobility in the country. So we are connecting the e-mobility to the youth, that I'll talk to you sometime separately. So the government is promoting clean energy. We also need to invest in green infrastructure. We must also prioritize the development of sustainable agriculture and food system, as well as invest in education and healthcare to build a more equitable and resilient society. My dear friends, are you aware that Israel, which is a very small country that we all know, has only one or two, agriculture related universities? How many universities we have in India, agriculture related? Officially 160, and then many more, more than 50 other organizations are there. So we have around 200 agriculture related universities and institutions, big universities, big institutions. Recently, I went to Pusa, the ICAR, huge campus in the heart city of the national capital, Delhi. You know, spread in, thousands and thousands of acres. What is the result? Result is Israel is coming to teach us how to increase your food grain production. They have established 16 center of excellence in India, and they are teaching us, a small country. So we will have to see. We have created huge infrastructure, number of institutions, n number of people are there, appointed as the officials, experts, academicians, and so on. They're spending huge. The result? And why this? I asked one of the Israeli ministers one day that how it is that we have so much of infrastructure, manpower, brain, experts, and you are coming to teach us. You're a small country. Then he said, my dear friend, in your country, the PhDs are given just for a sake of, putting with the name that Dr. Omkareshwar Pandey. Bibliography in the PhD shows that you have cut it and pasted from long list of the, books and sources. That doesn't mean that you have done something new, innovative, and your own. Also, what they do, if somebody comes with a thesis, the Israeli authorities will say, okay, fine, Mr. So-and-so, keep this thesis report on the table. Let's go to the ground. Please implement it. Show it to us, how it is working, and then you will be awarded with the PhD. This is the great difference. So, if we have to achieve the resilience, sustainability, and other things, we will also have to work on the enhancing the quality of education. Today, information is power. You know that. And knowledge is enemy of all problems. The application of correct information or the right knowledge can have a bigger impact than any technology. It can save lives, show the path of sustainability, and support in achieving prosperity. If you remember, during COVID-19, we have seen the power of information as well as the benefits of a well-connected community. ऑक्सीजन कहाँ मिलेगा? अगर राइट टाइम पे आपने बता दिया तो उसकी जान बच जाएगी. कौन सी दवा कैसे मिलेगी? सही समय पे सही सूचना अगर मिल जाती है तो वो लाइफ्स को बचा सकती है. बट क्या सिचुएशन है आज? Even the WHO had to say that if I'm worried about the pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic, I'm also worried about the infodemic. Infodemic means this is the fake news, disinformation, misinformation campaign which is going on. And every day we receive on our WhatsApp and we forward without verifying the facts. without understanding who has is the intent behind, what is the reality behind. So that also has to fought equally. So that's why we need to build up a community bound together with the threads of information and empowered with the power of knowledge. And as I have created 11 knowledge networks that includes Indian thought leaders, global thought leaders, education thought leaders, and women thought leaders, and up to Commonwealth thought leaders. So we have experts from 40 countries. Anybody is welcome to join those groups. We can connect on Facebook, LinkedIn, anywhere. So because why we are doing it? Because if India has to become global knowledge leader, global Gyan Guru by 2047, as our Prime Minister has been saying, so we'll have to increase the knowledge-driven society, economy, and leadership. So that's why these efforts of ISM Patna is also very, very important. That you are at one side, you're talking about the subject, and also, encouraging and developing a kind of knowledge leadership. Today, we are confronted with a world that is rapidly evolving and constantly changing. The global pandemic has demonstrated how interconnected our world is, and it has highlighted the need for us to come together to address the challenges that lie ahead. As Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, has said, in a world of rapid change, standing still is the quickest way to fall behind. Growth and innovation require embracing uncertainty and adapting to new realities. And I would like to quote Jonjit, former CEO of Puma, who says, sustainability is no longer about doing less harm. It's about doing more good. And Gary Lawrence is right when it says, sustainability is a political choice, not a technical one. It's not a question of whether we can be sustainable, but whether we choose to be or not. And finally, Paul McCartney says, there must be a better way to make the things we want, a way that doesn't spoil the sky or the rain or the land. And with these words, I would like to thank Dr. Anand Kumar Chaudhary, to you, Dr. Shilpi Kavita, and the entire top management of ISM Patna. I enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Any question, answer if you require.
I think we are basically blessed, in fact, but I would like to say about you in the end. Sir, you talk about the infodemic, information altogether, basically the incorrect information, the miscommunication altogether. I have basically altogether seen that the information which we all know the information is important and information is precious, but the problem is that the information which we need is not we have, and the information which basically have is not basically it. And that is the basically the area of concern for basically we have to correct. And sir, one more important thing would like to say, basically I want to listen more and more about from your word and the basically the word of wisdom. In 30 minutes, I think you have taken 20 to 30 minutes, but as we all know, the time is money, and I have earned lots of coin within 30 minutes, and you make the day for us, the meaningful, more meaningful. We can basically even start to thinking about the sustainability, resilience, and the dynamic world, and this has given by you, and we will work on basically future. Accordingly, basically the word which you have shared with us. Thank you, sir. Your experience is so much expensive. We cannot even buy anything about to buy. But I just wish one thing: whenever you will come to Bihar, especially in Patna, I will basically want to basically meet you.
And that will be my pleasure to meet you all, and also it will be a pleasure to work together. In Delhi, we keep organizing a lot of national conferences. We are also organizing conference in Bangkok in coming August. And as I said, I have created several knowledge networks. So in our education thought leadership group, there are around 100 universities, 100 vice chancellors are there, several professors and deans are there. We have IIMs, we have central universities, we have some of the IITs also. They are on board, and we do organize a lot of conferences related to education, health, sustainability, international trade, and many other things. We are especially working in the areas of e-mobility, which was new. I had invited Vivek Kumar Singh, the Development Commissioner of Bihar, in my last conference, and many senior people from Niti Aayog were there. Topmost companies like Tata's global head was there. Several good people were there. I'll share with you the details of our
Yes, sir. Of course, sir. Please.
On 25th of this coming month, also we have another conference where we are going to talk about again e-mobility, sustainability, skilling, and entrepreneurship from the women angle. So we have a collaboration partner, the Mata Sundari College for Women in Delhi. So a lot of women have also been invited for those conferences. We would love to do conferences in collaboration with ISM Patna as well, because
Yes,
Patna
sir.
lacks kind of knowledge events. I always see that. We
Certainly, I will talk to management, sir, about you. Whatever
these
your
kind of conferences must be organized on ground, and if you require any kind of support, any kind of help, we are here to provide you, so that we can do. So
Sure, sir.
I'm very happy you talked about that fake news and all. Fortunately, I was also one of the first few editors who had taken training from the Google about how to debunk the fake news. So I do take classes on that also. I work on a untouched area nowadays. Nobody knows much about that. So I have been pursuing that, and I have created a platform that called Commonwealth Thought Leaders Forum. So a lot of people from not only from across India, but from 40 countries are there. A lot of ambassadors, high commissioners present, sitting, and also the ex high commissioners are there. Some of the ministers of some of the countries are there. So we can have a formal MOU if your organization is willing, and we can support your organization in becoming a national brand. The infrastructure on ground doesn't matter nowadays. It is your digital presence which matters a lot, because digital has no match. You can reach to millions and millions of people if you are creating the digital uh, strength. You're more important. And coming to Delhi, presenting yourself in national capital also makes the organization visible across the nation. Delhi is an international place, so sometime ISM should come to Delhi to organize the event, to partner with the event, to join hands in the event in any way. And I would also like to invite you and Dr. Kavita and other faculty members or the director of the organization. I'll be happy to talk to everybody. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you so much.
this conference. I hope that I have not disappointed you.
No, sir, no, not at all, sir. But only I can say that, sir, I can wish about you that go to the extra mile with a sincere smile. That's all from my side, sir. Thank you so much for basically you're making your presence and making more meaningful, basically, sense of a international conference, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.